Marcus Davenport III had it all planned. 3 months of preparation, a $50,000 speechwriter, every word memorized, every gesture practiced. Tonight, at the most exclusive gala in New York City, he would finally expose Elon Musk as a fraud in front of 500 of the world's most powerful people. He had no idea that 5 simple words from Elon would destroy everything he'd worked for: his reputation, his business partnerships, his entire identity. All gone in less than 60 seconds. But this isn't a story about destruction. It's a story about what happened next. About how the worst moment of someone's life became the catalyst for their redemption. About the difference between inherited wealth and earned respect. About learning that you can't buy accomplishment. You have to build it. This is the story of how Marcus Davenport III went from humiliated billionaire to someone worth respecting. And it all started on one cold March night in 2023, when he stepped out of his Rolls-Royce Phantom, straightened his $25,000 tuxedo, and walked into the Pierre Hotel with absolute confidence that he was about to win. Marcus Davenport III stepped out of his black Rolls-Royce Phantom. The car cost more than most people's houses, $500,000 to be exact. The door closed with a soft, expensive thunk behind him. He straightened his tuxedo. Tom Ford, custom-made, $25,000. Every stitch was perfect. Every button was real gold. "Mr. Davenport, you look wonderful tonight," said the valet, a young man in a red jacket. Marcus didn't even look at him. He just walked toward the entrance of the Pierre Hotel. His shoes clicked on the marble steps. Each shoe cost $3,000. Italian leather. It was March 2023. The night was cold, but Marcus didn't feel it. His blood was too hot with excitement and anger. Tonight was the annual Tech Leaders Gala. 500 of the richest, most powerful people in the world would be inside. Billionaires, CEOs, inventors, leaders. And Marcus was going to make his mark. 2 doormen in black suits opened the giant brass doors. Marcus walked through like a king entering his castle. The ballroom took his breath away, even though he'd seen it before. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls. Each one had 1,000 tiny lights. The walls were covered in gold paint. Real gold. The floor was white marble, so shiny you could see your reflection. Round tables filled the room. In each table had white silk tablecloths and centerpieces made of orchids. Orchids that cost $500 each. There were 10 orchids per table, 50 tables total. Marcus did the math in his head. That's $250,000 just on flowers. He smiled. This was his kind of party. "Champagne, sir?" A waiter appeared beside him holding a silver tray. Marcus took a glass. He knew this champagne. Cristal. The good stuff. $800 per bottle. He took a sip. It tasted like bubbles and money. He looked around the room. There was Jeff Hoffman, the CEO of a giant software company. There was Sarah Chen, who invented a new kind of battery. There was Andre Williams, the famous movie producer. Everyone was wearing expensive clothes. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was pretending to be friends while secretly competing to see who was richer, smarter, more successful. So Marcus loved it. And he hated it, because across the room, he saw him, Elon Musk. Elon was standing near the bar. He was wearing a tuxedo too, but it looked normal. Nothing fancy. Probably only cost $5,000. Maybe less. But that wasn't what made Marcus's hands curl into fists. It was the crowd around Elon. 20 people stood in a circle around him. Young people mostly. Entrepreneurs, inventors, people who wanted to change the world. They were laughing at something Elon said. One young woman had stars in her eyes. A young man was nodding so hard his head might fall off. Everyone wanted to talk to Elon Musk. Everyone wanted to be near him. Everyone wanted his advice, his approval, his attention. Marcus felt his chest get tight. His jaw clenched. 3 months ago, Marcus had spent $150 million buying a yacht. The biggest yacht in Miami Harbor. He threw a huge party on it. He invited everyone important. Only 30 people came. The newspapers barely mentioned it. One small article on page 20. Billionaire buys another boat. That same week, Elon Musk posted a tweet about SpaceX landing a rocket on a floating platform in the ocean. That tweet got 50 million views. It wasn't fair. Marcus had money. So much money. $8 billion. He could buy anything, go anywhere, do anything. But he couldn't buy what Elon had. Respect. Admiration. People who looked at him like he was special. Marcus took another sip of his $800 champagne. It suddenly tasted bitter. A man in a gray suit walked past. "Did you see Elon is here? I hope I can talk to him about SpaceX. My daughter wants to be an astronaut." A woman in a blue dress said to her friend, "I read that Tesla is opening 3 new factories this year. That man is changing the world." Marcus wanted to scream, but he just smiled his practiced smile. He'd been planning this night for 3 months, ever since he decided he was tired of living in Elon Musk's shadow. Marcus had hired a speechwriter, a professional, the best in New York City. He paid her $50,000 to help him craft the perfect words. Words that would cut. Words that would expose Elon Musk as a fraud. Because that's what Elon was, Marcus told himself. A fraud. A lucky guy who got credit for other people's work. Marcus walked slowly across the ballroom. His heart beat faster with each step. People said hello as he passed. He nodded, but didn't stop. He had a target. The room smelled like expensive perfume and power. A string quartet played soft music in the corner. Violins and cellos. Beautiful and boring. Marcus was 15 feet away from Elon now. 10 feet. 5 feet. The young people around Elon were asking him questions. "Mr. Musk, how did you know electric cars would work? What advice would you give to young inventors? Is it true you work 100 hours every week?" Elon answered each question thoughtfully. His voice was calm. He wasn't showing off. He wasn't bragging. He was just talking. That made Marcus even angrier. Marcus cleared his throat. Loudly. Some of the young people turned to look at him. "Elon Musk," Marcus said. His voice was loud. Too loud. People at nearby tables turned to see what was happening. The man himself. Elon turned around. He had brown hair that looked messy. His face looked tired, but his eyes were bright and alert. "Hello, Marcus," Elon said. He smiled politely. "How are you?" Marcus felt his moment arriving. This was it. This was what he'd been planning for 3 months. "I'm wonderful," Marcus said. His voice dripped with fake sweetness like honey from a broken jar. "I was just telling my friends here about innovation. Real innovation. Not just buying companies and pretending you built them." The string quartet kept playing. But Marcus could feel the room changing, the energy shifting. People stopped their conversations. They turned to watch. 50 people were staring now. Then 100. Then more. Someone whispered, "What's happening?" Someone else whispered, "Is Marcus Davenport picking a fight with Elon Musk?" Elon's polite smile didn't change. "What do you mean?" he asked calmly. "Perfect," Marcus thought. "He's giving me exactly what I want." Marcus had practiced his next words in the mirror every morning for 3 months. He'd memorized every pause, every gesture, every facial expression. This was his moment to shine. This was his moment to finally be the center of attention. This was his moment to put Elon Musk in his place. Marcus smiled, a big, confident smile. He had no idea that in the next 5 minutes, his entire life would fall apart. Marcus Davenport III was born rich. Not regular rich. Not, my parents have a nice house. Rich. Billionaire rich. His first memory was riding in a limousine. He was 3 years old. The car had a TV and a refrigerator. He thought every car was like that. His second memory was his birthday party when he turned 5. A circus came to his house. Real elephants walked on his front lawn. Clowns did tricks. A magician made a real tiger appear. 100 kids from his kindergarten came to the party. Each kid got a gift bag worth $500. Marcus grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut. His house had 40 rooms. Yes, 40. He sometimes got lost in his own home. The house sat on 20 acres of land. There was a tennis court, a swimming pool, a movie theater, and a stable with 6 horses. Marcus's father was cold and distant. He worked all the time. He barely talked to Marcus. Marcus's mother was busy with charity events and country club meetings. She barely talked to Marcus either. So Marcus grew up with nannies and tutors and servants, people who were paid to care about him. His grandfather was different. Richard Davenport Sr. started with nothing. He was born in 1930 in a tiny apartment in Brooklyn. His father was a factory worker. His mother cleaned houses. When Richard was 16, he dropped out of school. He got a job working on ships at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. He loaded cargo. He cleaned decks. He worked 16 hours a day. He saved every penny. By 1952, when he was 22 years old, Richard had saved $10,000. He bought his first ship. It was small and old and rusty, but it was his. He named it the Dream. Richard worked on that ship himself. He was the captain, the crew, and the janitor all at once. He moved cargo up and down the East Coast, New York to Florida, Florida to Georgia, Georgia back to New York. He barely slept. He barely ate, but he saved money. In 1955, he bought a second ship, then a third, then a fourth. By 1970, Davenport Shipping had 50 ships. They moved cargo across the Atlantic Ocean, to Europe, to South America, to Africa. Richard Davenport was worth $100 million. By 1990, the company had 200 ships. They moved cargo all over the world. Richard Davenport was worth $2 billion. Richard was tough, but fair. He remembered where he came from. He paid his workers well. He treated them with respect. He knew their names, their families, their problems. Marcus loved his grandfather. Richard was the only person who seemed to really see him. Every Sunday, Richard took Marcus to his office. Marcus was 10 years old. Richard showed him the ships on the computer. He explained how business worked. "Marcus," Richard said, "money is just a tool. What matters is what you build with it, what you create, what you give to the world." Marcus nodded, but he didn't really understand. When Marcus was 16, Richard got sick. Cancer. It moved fast. Richard died in 2006. Marcus was 25 years old. The will was read. Richard left everything to Marcus: the company, the houses, the investments, $8 billion. Marcus Davenport III was suddenly one of the richest young men in America. His friends were jealous. Strangers wanted to be his friend. Women wanted to date him. Marcus felt powerful. He felt invincible. But something was missing. Marcus went to Harvard, but only because his father donated $10 million to the school. His grades were average. He barely graduated. He didn't have any real skills. He never had to learn anything. Money solved every problem. Need a driver? Hire one. Need food? Order it. Need friends? Buy them expensive gifts. But Marcus wanted more than money. He wanted respect. He wanted people to call him a genius, an innovator, a leader. He wanted to be like Steve Jobs. I'd like Jeff Bezos, like Elon Musk. So in 2019, Marcus decided to start a tech company. He called it Daventech. Marcus hired the best people. He paid them huge salaries. He rented a fancy office in Manhattan with exposed brick walls and ping-pong tables. He told everyone his big idea: a smart refrigerator that could order groceries automatically. Marcus invested $400 million of his own money. He hired 200 employees. He bought advertisements during the Super Bowl. The refrigerator cost $6,000. It had a touch screen. It had cameras inside that could see what food you had. It connected to the internet and ordered more milk when you ran out. Marcus thought it was genius. The problem was that Walmart and Amazon already sold smart refrigerators that did the same thing. Their refrigerators cost $2,000. They worked just as well. And nobody wanted to pay $6,000 for Marcus's refrigerator. In the first year, Daventech sold only 500 refrigerators. Marcus spent $400 million. He made back $3 million. The company failed in 2021. Marcus had to close it. 200 people lost their jobs. The newspapers wrote articles. Billionaire's big flop. The New York Times, money can't buy success. Forbes, Marcus Davenport learns expensive lesson. Wall Street Journal. Marcus read every article. Each one felt like a punch in the stomach. But he didn't learn the lesson the newspapers thought he should learn. He didn't think, I need to work harder. I need to understand business better. I need to be humble. Instead, he thought, the market wasn't ready. My employees failed me. I was unlucky. He blamed everyone except himself. Meanwhile, Elon Musk kept winning, and Tesla became the most valuable car company in the world, worth over $600 billion in 2021. SpaceX launched astronauts to the International Space Station, something only governments could do before. Elon's picture was on the cover of Time magazine, Forbes, Fortune, every magazine. Everyone talked about Elon. Everyone praised him. Everyone called him a genius. Marcus would see these articles and feel rage boil inside him. I have more money than he had when he started, Marcus told himself. Why does everyone love him and not me? Marcus started posting mean things about Elon on Twitter. Elon Musk is overrated. Lucky, not smart. Tesla cars are just expensive toys for rich people. SpaceX wastes money on rockets when people are hungry on Earth. His tweets got a few hundred likes, mostly from other jealous people. But Elon's tweets got millions of likes. Millions. It drove Marcus crazy. So Marcus made a plan. He would publicly embarrass Elon Musk. He would expose him as a fraud. He would make everyone see that Elon wasn't special. And the perfect place to do it was the tech leaders' gala. Marcus spent 3 months preparing. He hired a speechwriter named Patricia Chen. She was the best in New York. She wrote speeches for CEOs and politicians. Marcus paid her $50,000. I want to destroy him, Marcus told Patricia. I want everyone to see that Elon Musk didn't actually build anything. He just bought companies and hired smart people. Patricia looked uncomfortable. Mr. Davenport, are you sure you want to do this? Publicly attacking someone rarely works out well for the attacker. "I'm paying you to write, not to give advice," Marcus snapped. Patricia wrote the speech. Marcus practiced it every single morning for 3 months. He practiced his tone, his gestures, his facial expressions. He imagined the crowd gasping. He imagined Elon's face turning red with embarrassment. He imagined everyone finally seeing Marcus as the smart one, the important one, the one who mattered. What Marcus didn't imagine was that his plan would backfire completely. What Marcus didn't know was that Elon Musk was much smarter than he thought. What Marcus couldn't predict was that 5 simple words would destroy everything he'd worked for. But none of that had happened yet. Right now, in the golden ballroom of the Pierre Hotel, Marcus was still confident. He was still smiling. He was still sure he was about to win. Elon Musk's story was completely different. Elon was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. His childhood was not easy. His parents divorced when he was young. He was bullied at school. Other kids beat him up. Once, they threw him down a flight of stairs. Elon was small and quiet. He read books instead of playing sports. He loved science fiction. He dreamed about space and computers and the future. When Elon was 12, he taught himself computer programming. He created a video game called Blastar. He sold it to a computer magazine for $500. $500. That was the first money Elon ever made from his own creation. He loved that feeling. Elon moved to Canada when he was 17. He had almost no money. He worked odd jobs. He cut logs. He cleaned grain bins. He shoveled dirt. He enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario. He studied physics and business. He read textbooks constantly. And he was always learning, always asking questions. In 1992, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in America. He was 21 years old. He had $2,000 in his pocket. That was everything he owned. He worked hard. He graduated with degrees in physics and economics. Most students partied on weekends. Elon read books about rockets and solar power and electric batteries. In 1995, Elon was accepted to Stanford University for a PhD program. This was a huge honor. Stanford was one of the best schools in the world. But Elon never started the program. Instead, he dropped out after 2 days to start a company with his brother Kimball. Everyone thought he was crazy. "You're giving up Stanford?" his friends asked. "I can always go back to school," Elon said. "But the internet is happening right now, and I can't miss this." The company was called Zip2. It was like Google Maps before Google Maps existed. It helped newspapers put maps and business directories online. Elon and Kimball didn't have money for an office and an apartment, so they rented one small office. They worked there during the day. They slept there at night. They showered at the YMCA gym down the street. Elon worked 20 hours a day. He wrote code, he met with clients, he fixed computers, he did everything. Sometimes he slept under his desk. He set an alarm for 3 hours. When it beeped, he would wake up and keep working. For 3 years, this was Elon's life. Work, sleep a little, work more. In 1999, a company called Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon's share was $22 million. He was 28 years old. See, he'd made more money than most people make in their entire lives. Most people would buy a mansion, buy fancy cars, relax on beaches, enjoy being rich, not Elon. 1 month later, he started another company called X.com. It was an online bank. You could send money through email. This was brand new in 1999. Elon invested $12 million of his own money into X.com. More than half of everything he'd earned. X.com merged with another company called Confinity. Together, they became PayPal. PayPal grew fast. By 2002, millions of people used it to send money online. eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share was $180 million. He was 31 years old. He was very rich now. Again, most people would stop. They would enjoy their money, travel the world, buy islands, retire. Not Elon. Elon had two crazy dreams. First, he wanted to make electric cars that people actually wanted to buy. Everyone said this was impossible. Electric cars were slow and ugly. Nobody wanted them. Second, he wanted to build rockets to go to Mars. Everyone said this was even more impossible. Only governments could build rockets. It cost billions of dollars. Private companies always failed. Elon didn't care what everyone said. In 2002, he started SpaceX with $100 million of his own money. In 2004, he invested in a tiny company called Tesla. Two engineers, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, had started it. They wanted to make electric sports cars. Most people laughed. Electric cars? Those will never work. And rockets? That's insane. Elon worked on both companies at the same time. He was CEO of SpaceX. He was chairman and then CEO of Tesla. He worked 100 hours every week, so sometimes more. The first 3 SpaceX rockets exploded. Boom, boom, boom. Each explosion cost $60 million. Tesla almost went bankrupt multiple times. The first cars had problems. Batteries caught fire. Doors didn't close right. By 2008, both companies were dying. Elon had a terrible choice. He had $40 million left. That was all his money. He could save SpaceX or save Tesla, but not both. If he chose wrong, one company would die. Most people would save one company. Play it safe. Guarantee that something survived. Elon split the $40 million between both companies, $20 million each. He didn't know if either company would make it. He just knew he had to try. He borrowed money to pay his rent. He was a multimillionaire on paper but broke in real life. His friends thought he'd lost his mind. "See, you're going to lose everything," they warned him. Elon kept working. In December 2008, SpaceX's 4th rocket launched. It carried a satellite into orbit. It worked perfectly. NASA was watching. They were impressed. They gave SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. SpaceX was saved. That same month, Tesla got a loan from the Department of Energy. $465 million. Tesla was saved. Both companies survived by a miracle. Or maybe it wasn't a miracle. Maybe it was 100-hour work weeks. Maybe it was never giving up. Maybe it was believing in yourself when everyone else thought you were crazy. By 2023, SpaceX was worth over $100 billion. They launched more rockets than any other company in the world. They landed rockets on floating platforms in the ocean. They sent astronauts to space. By 2023, Tesla was worth over $600 billion. They sold more electric cars than any other company. They built gigafactories in Nevada, Texas, Germany, and China. Elon didn't inherit this success. He built it. With his hands, with his mind, with his sweat and his sleepless nights and his willingness to risk everything. He failed many times. His first 3 rockets exploded. His first Tesla cars had problems. He almost went bankrupt, but he learned from every failure. He kept trying. He never quit. That was the difference between Elon Musk and Marcus Davenport. Marcus inherited $8 billion and started one company that failed. Then he blamed everyone else. Elon started with nothing and built multiple companies that changed the world. When things failed, he learned and tried again. Marcus bought respect with money. Elon earned respect with results. Marcus wanted people to think he was smart. Elon wanted to solve real problems. Now, both men stood in the golden ballroom of the Pierre Hotel. The young entrepreneurs around Elon didn't know this whole story, but they felt it. They could sense that Elon was different. He wasn't like other rich people. He actually cared about making the world better. Marcus stood there with his practiced speech ready, his fake smile perfect, his expensive tuxedo gleaming. He thought money made him equal to Elon. He was about to learn how wrong he was. "Well," Marcus said loudly, his voice carrying across the ballroom. More people turned to watch. "Everyone calls you a genius, Elon, but let's look at the facts." Elon's polite smile didn't change, but his eyes became more alert. He could sense something bad was coming. The room grew quieter. The string quartet kept playing, but nobody was listening to them anymore. Everyone was watching Marcus and Elon. Marcus felt the attention. He loved it. This was his moment. He had no idea he was making the biggest mistake of his life. Marcus took a step closer to Elon. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum. All around him, conversations stopped. People put down their champagne glasses. They turned to watch. The young entrepreneurs standing near Elon stepped back. They could feel the tension in the air. Something bad was about to happen. A woman in a red dress whispered to her husband, "Is Marcus really doing this?" A man in a gray suit pulled out his phone. He started recording. Marcus didn't notice. He was too focused on Elon, too excited about his planned speech, too confident in his victory. "Elon Musk," Marcus said again. His voice was loud and clear. It echoed off the golden walls. "The man himself." 50 people were watching now, then 75, and then 100. The entire ballroom was turning to see what was happening. Elon stood calmly. He didn't look nervous. He didn't look angry. He just looked curious. "Hello, Marcus," Elon said. His voice was quiet and polite. "How are you?" "I'm wonderful," Marcus replied. His smile was too big, too fake. "I was just telling my friends here about innovation. Real innovation." He paused for effect, just like he'd practiced. "Not just buying companies and pretending you built them." A few people gasped. Someone said, "Oh no." The young woman in the red dress covered her mouth with her hand. But Marcus didn't care. He was enjoying this. He felt powerful, important. Finally, everyone was paying attention to him instead of Elon. Elon's smile stayed on his face. "What do you mean?" he asked calmly. "Perfect," Marcus thought. "He's giving me exactly what I need." Marcus began walking in a slow circle around Elon, like a shark swimming around its prey. He'd practiced this movement in his bedroom mirror for weeks. "Well," Marcus said, his voice dripping with fake friendliness, "let's talk about facts. Real facts. Not the fairy tale everyone believes." The room was completely silent now, except for Marcus's voice. "Everyone here thinks you're a genius inventor," Marcus continued. "But you didn't invent Tesla, did you?" Elon's expression didn't change. He just stood there, waiting. "You bought Tesla in 2004 from Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning," Marcus said. Each word was like a little stab. "They were the real founders. They had the idea. They did the work. You just showed up with money." Some people in the crowd shifted uncomfortably. This felt mean. This felt wrong. But Marcus wasn't done. "And SpaceX?" Marcus's voice got louder. "You just hired smart engineers and threw money at them. You didn't design the rockets yourself. You didn't do the math. You didn't build anything with your own hands." Marcus stopped walking. He turned to face Elon directly. "Any billionaire could do what you did," Marcus said. "I could do it. Anyone with enough money could hire brilliant people and take credit for their work." A man in the crowd shook his head. A woman frowned. But some people nodded slightly. They were listening to Marcus. Maybe he had a point. Marcus felt his confidence growing even more. The speech was working, and he was winning. "You see, Elon," Marcus continued, his voice getting even louder, "some of us earned our billions the honest way. Through family legacy, through trust, through real inheritance." He puffed out his chest. "We don't have to play pretend genius on Twitter. We don't need constant attention. We don't need to show off. We have real class. Old money, not new money desperately trying to buy respect." The room felt like it was holding its breath. Marcus could see phones recording now. At least 20 people had their phones out. This would be all over the internet by tomorrow. Everyone would see Marcus Davenport putting Elon Musk in his place. Marcus took one more step toward Elon. They were now just 3 feet apart. "So tell me, Musk," Marcus said. His voice was sharp like a knife. "What makes you so special? What have you actually built with your own 2 hands? What have you created that didn't come from someone else's brain?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Everyone waited for Elon's response. Would he get angry? Would he yell? Would he walk away? Marcus smiled. He'd won. No matter what Elon said now, Marcus had exposed him. Marcus had shown everyone the truth. Or so he thought. Elon just stood there, silent. His face was calm. Too calm. 5 seconds passed. They felt like 5 hours. Marcus's confident smile started to fade just a tiny bit. Why wasn't Elon responding? Why wasn't he getting defensive? 10 seconds passed. The crowd leaned forward. Everyone wanted to hear what Elon would say. 15 seconds passed. Marcus felt the first flutter of nervousness in his stomach. Something felt wrong. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Elon was supposed to get angry. He was supposed to stammer. He was supposed to try to defend himself and look foolish doing it. But Elon just stood there, looking at Marcus, studying him. And then Elon did something Marcus didn't expect. Elon smiled. Not an angry smile, not a fake smile, a sad smile. The kind of smile you give someone when you feel sorry for them. "You really believe that, don't you?" Elon said quietly. His voice was so soft that people in the back of the crowd couldn't hear. They moved closer. Marcus felt his confidence shaking. Just a little. Just enough to notice. "Of course I believe it," Marcus said. But his voice sounded less sure now. "It's the truth." Elon nodded slowly, like a teacher listening to a student who got the answer wrong. "Marcus," Elon said gently, Do you know what I did in my first company?" Marcus didn't answer. He didn't know where this was going. "I worked in the office because I couldn't afford an apartment," Elon continued. His voice was still quiet, still calm. "I showered at the YMCA gym. I slept under my desk. I worked 20-hour days." People in the crowd nodded. They'd heard these stories before. "In 2008, I put my last $40 million into my companies," Elon said. "I didn't know if either one would survive. I borrowed money to pay my rent. I was a millionaire on paper but broke in real life." Marcus opened his mouth to interrupt, but Elon kept talking. "I didn't buy Tesla because I wanted credit," Elon said. "I invested in Tesla because I believed electric cars could change the world. And I became CEO because the company needed someone to lead it through bankruptcy." Elon's sad smile grew a little wider. You say any billionaire could do what I did, Elon continued. You say you could do it. But Marcus, you inherited $8 billion. You had every advantage, every opportunity, and you started one company. The crowd was completely silent now. That company failed in 2 years, Elon said softly. Not because of bad luck, not because of bad employees, but because you didn't do the hard work. You didn't sleep in the office. You didn't risk everything. You just spent money and expected success to come automatically. Marcus's face turned red. He felt hot, embarrassed, angry. You're just a glorified salesman, Marcus shouted. His voice cracked a little. You didn't design the rockets. You didn't build the cars. And you just hired people smarter than you. The desperation in Marcus's voice was obvious now. He was losing control, losing the crowd, losing everything. Elon's sad smile stayed on his face. You're right about one thing, Elon said. Everyone in the room leaned in to hear. I didn't build the rockets alone. I didn't design the cars alone. That's because I'm smart enough to hire brilliant people and inspire them to do their best work. Elon paused. That's called leadership, Marcus. Something you can't buy. The crowd murmured. Some people nodded. They were on Elon's side now. Marcus felt panic rising in his chest. This was going all wrong. He was supposed to be winning. He was supposed to be the hero of this story. He needed to regain control. He needed to hurt Elon. He needed to say something devastating. Everyone here knows the truth. Musk, Marcus said desperately. His voice was too loud now, too aggressive. You're a fraud. A lucky fraud who was in the right place at the right time. The words came out like poison. The room waited. And that's when Elon Musk said 5 words that would change everything. Elon looked directly into Marcus's eyes. The entire ballroom was silent. 500 people held their breath. Even the string quartet had stopped playing. The violinist held her bow in the air, frozen. Marcus's heart pounded. His hands were shaking slightly. He hid them behind his back. This was it. This was the moment Elon would try to defend himself, try to explain, try to justify, and Marcus would tear apart whatever Elon said. He was ready. He'd practiced responses to everything Elon might say. Elon's voice was calm, quiet, clear. So show me your rocket. 5 words, just 5 simple words. For 3 seconds, nobody understood. Marcus blinked. What? Show me your rocket, Elon repeated. Then it hit everyone at the same time, like lightning striking the room. Show me your rocket. Elon wasn't asking to see a physical rocket. He was asking Marcus to show his accomplishments, his achievements, his proof. If Marcus thought anyone with money could do what Elon did, then Marcus should be able to show his own version, his own rocket, his own electric car company, his own success story. But Marcus couldn't, because Marcus had no rocket, no spacecraft, no car company, no revolutionary invention, just inherited money and a failed refrigerator company. Marcus's face went from red to white in 2 seconds. His mouth opened. No sound came out. Show me your rocket. The words echoed in his head like a bell that wouldn't stop ringing. Someone in the crowd laughed. Not a mean laugh, an impressed laugh. A "that was brilliant" laugh. Then someone else laughed. Then more people. Within 5 seconds, the entire ballroom was buzzing with noise. "Oh my God!" a woman in a blue dress said loudly. "That's perfect!" a man in a black suit said. "Show me your rocket," someone repeated. "That's genius." People started clapping. First, just a few people, then more, then dozens. They weren't clapping for Marcus. They were clapping for Elon. A reporter from Bloomberg pulled out her phone. She spoke urgently into it. "Cancel my other story. I've got something huge. Elon Musk just destroyed Marcus Davenport in 5 words. Yes, 5 words. It's incredible." Another reporter from TechCrunch was already typing on his phone. His fingers moved fast across the screen. Marcus stood frozen in the middle of the ballroom. His expensive tuxedo suddenly felt too tight. His face felt like it was on fire. Everyone was looking at him, but not with respect, not with admiration, with pity, with disappointment, with second-hand embarrassment. A young entrepreneur who'd been standing near Elon whispered to her friend, "I can't believe Marcus thought he could win that." An older businessman shook his head sadly. "That boy just ended his own career." Marcus tried to speak. I didn't mean, I was just..." But the words wouldn't come. What could he say? "I have a yacht?" That just proved Elon's point. He bought things. He didn't build things. "I tried to start a company?" Everyone knew it failed. "I have more money than most people?" So what? He inherited it. He didn't earn it. There was nothing to say. Elon didn't look triumphant. He didn't look happy about winning. He still had that sad smile on his face. He stepped closer to Marcus, close enough that only Marcus could hear what he said next. "Marcus," Elon said quietly, "I didn't say that to hurt you. I said it to show you the truth." Marcus looked at Elon. His eyes were wet. He was trying not to cry in front of 500 people. Elon continued, his voice gentle. "You can't buy accomplishment. You can't inherit respect. You earn those things by doing hard work, by taking risks, by creating value for the world." Elon put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. The gesture was kind, fatherly, almost. "You spent 3 months planning how to embarrass me," Elon said. Imagine what you could build if you spent that energy creating something instead of tearing others down." Marcus felt a tear roll down his cheek. He quickly wiped it away. Elon patted his shoulder once. Then he walked away. The young entrepreneurs followed Elon. They didn't even look at Marcus as they passed. Marcus stood alone in the middle of the golden ballroom. 500 people stared at him. Some looked angry. How dare he attack Elon Musk like that? Some looked disappointed. "We thought you were better than this, Marcus." Some looked like they felt sorry for him. Poor guy just humiliated himself. A woman in diamonds walked past Marcus. She whispered loud enough for him to hear, "That was embarrassing." A man in an expensive suit shook his head. What was he thinking? 2 young women walked by. One said to the other, "Did you see his face when Elon said, 'Show me your rocket'? I felt bad for him." Marcus wanted to disappear. He wanted the marble floor to open up and swallow him whole. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Once, twice, 5 times, 10 times. He pulled it out with a shaking hand. Text messages flooded in. His business partner, Richard, "Marcus, what the hell did you just do? Call me now." His lawyer, "I'm watching a video of what just happened. We need to talk immediately." His mother, "Marcus Arthur Davenport III, I am watching this on someone's phone. What have you done? Your grandfather would be ashamed." That last message hit Marcus like a punch to the stomach. His grandfather would be ashamed. Marcus looked at his phone screen. Someone had already posted a video online. The video showed the entire confrontation. But Marcus walking around Elon like a shark. Marcus saying mean things. Marcus's confident smile. And then Elon's response, "Show me your rocket." The video had been posted 2 minutes ago. It already had 50,000 views. Marcus watched the number climb. 60,000, 75,000, 90,000. The comments were brutal. Marcus really thought he did something Elon destroyed him with 5 words. That's what happens when you inherit money but not brains. Show me your rocket. Marcus put his phone back in his pocket. His hands were shaking so badly he almost dropped it. He looked around the ballroom one more time. Nobody was looking at him anymore. They'd all gone back to their conversations, back to their champagne and their networking. Marcus Davenport III had wanted everyone to notice him. Now everyone had noticed him. And they'd seen exactly what he didn't want them to see. That he was empty. That he had nothing real to offer. That he was just a rich kid who inherited money and spent his life being jealous of people who actually accomplished things. Marcus walked toward the exit. His legs felt weak. Each step was hard. The doorman opened the door. He didn't smile at Marcus. He looked uncomfortable. Marcus stepped outside into the cold March night. His Rolls-Royce was waiting. The valet brought it around. Marcus got in the back seat. The door closed with that same soft, expensive thunk. But this time, it sounded different. It sounded like a coffin closing. Marcus told the driver to take him home. His voice was quiet, broken. As the car pulled away from the Pierre Hotel, Marcus looked back. Through the golden windows, he could see people laughing, talking, having a good time. He realized something terrible. He didn't humiliate Elon Musk tonight. He humiliated himself. And tomorrow, the whole world would know. Marcus's penthouse was on the 60th floor of a building in Manhattan. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of Central Park, furniture that cost more than most cars. He walked through the door at 11:47 p.m. He didn't turn on the lights. He just walked to the window and stared out at the city. Millions of lights twinkled below. Each light was a person, a family, a life. How many of them had seen the video by now? Marcus pulled out his phone. He shouldn't look. He knew he shouldn't look, but he couldn't help himself. The video now had 10 million views. 10 million views in less than 3 hours. Where the title read, "Arrogant Billionaire Tries to Humiliate Elon Musk, Gets Destroyed in 5 Words." Marcus clicked on it even though he didn't want to, like picking at a scab even though you know it will hurt. He watched himself on the screen, walking around Elon, talking about real innovation and old money and class. He looked so confident in the video, so sure of himself, so stupid. Then came Elon's response. "Show me your rocket." Even watching it a second time, Marcus felt the words hit him like a truck. He scrolled down to the comments. There were over 50,000 comments now. "This is the most perfect comeback I've ever seen." Marcus really woke up and chose violence, but Elon chose facts. "Show me your rocket" is going to be a legendary quote forever. Imagine being so rich and still so insecure. This is what happens when you confuse inheritance with intelligence. Marcus threw his phone across the room. It hit his $50,000 couch and bounced onto the floor. He poured himself a drink. Whiskey. The bottle cost $5,000. A special blend from Scotland that only 500 bottles were ever made. He took a sip. It tasted like nothing, like water, like ashes. Marcus sat down on his expensive couch in his expensive penthouse, wearing his expensive tuxedo. And he felt like the poorest man in the world. His phone rang. He'd thrown it across the room, but he could hear it buzzing on the floor. He walked over and picked it up. Richard Chen, his business partner. Marcus answered. "Richard, I'm out," Richard said, and his voice was ice cold. "What?" "I'm out. I'm done. The other partners are done too. Nobody wants to be associated with you right now." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Richard, we've been friends for 20 years. Were friends, Richard corrected. Past tense. You just embarrassed yourself in front of the entire world. Do you know what this does to Davenport Capital? Do you know how many clients have already called me? How many? Marcus asked quietly. 15. In the last 2 hours. 15 major clients want to pull their money out. They don't want to invest with someone who publicly attacks people and then gets humiliated on camera. Marcus sat down on the floor. His legs wouldn't hold him up anymore. Richard, please. You did this to yourself, Marcus. You wanted attention. You got it. Congratulations. Click. Richard hung up. Marcus stared at his phone. The screen showed all his missed calls. 37 of them. The phone rang again. Susan Martinez. She was the president of the Metro Children's Hospital Charity Board. Marcus had been on that board for 5 years. He donated $1 million every year. Marcus answered. Susan. Marcus, the board held an emergency meeting, Susan said. She sounded tired, disappointed. We're asking you to resign. You can't be serious. We're very serious. You tried to publicly humiliate someone who's actually making the world better. Elon Musk's companies employ hundreds of thousands of people. They're fighting climate change with electric cars. They're advancing space exploration. Susan paused. And you attacked him because you were jealous. That's not the kind of person we want representing our charity. But I donate $1 million every year, Marcus said. We'll find other donors, Susan replied. We need your resignation letter by Monday morning. If we don't have it, we'll remove you anyway. This way is cleaner. Click. She hung up too. Marcus opened Twitter. He had to stop doing this. It was like poison. But he couldn't stop. The hashtag #ShowMeYourRocket was trending worldwide. Number 1. Above everything else happening in the world, someone had created a meme. It showed Marcus with a thought bubble. I'm going to destroy Elon Musk tonight. The next panel showed Elon with a simple response. Show me your rocket. The third panel showed Marcus's face from the video, right after Elon said it. His mouth hanging open, his eyes wide, his confidence shattered. The meme had 2 million shares. Another meme showed a game show. The host was asking, things you shouldn't say to someone who actually built successful companies? The answer was, you're just lucky and anyone could do it. The buzzer sound effect. Wrong. Marcus Davenport found out why. 5 million shares. A parody Twitter account had already been created, at @ShowMeYourRocket. The bio read, ask yourself this question before talking trash about people's accomplishments. The account had 500,000 followers already. It was created an hour ago. Marcus scrolled through his own mentions. Thousands of people were tagging him. Hey, at Marcus Davenport, show us your rocket. I'm Marcus Davenport. Your grandfather built a shipping company. You built nothing. Sit down. Watching at Marcus Davenport learn the difference between inheritance and achievement in real time was chef's kiss. At Marcus Davenport really said, old money has class. Like being born rich is an accomplishment. Marcus closed Twitter. He opened Instagram. Same thing. The video was everywhere. He opened Facebook. Same thing. He opened TikTok. Someone had already made a song using Elon's words. Show me your rocket, 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 with a dance. The video had 8 million views. He opened LinkedIn. Even there, people were sharing the video. Professional people, business people, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company had shared it with the caption, "This is why earned success matters more than inherited wealth. Leadership lesson here." Marcus finally opened the news websites. Pre-CNN business. Elon Musk's 5-word response to critic goes viral. Forbes, How Elon Musk turned the tables on his attacker with perfect comeback. The Wall Street Journal. Marcus Davenport's failed attack highlights difference between building and buying. The New York Times. Viral video shows why actions speak louder than wealth. Every single major news outlet was covering it. Marcus was famous now. Finally famous. But not the way he wanted. He wasn't famous for being smart, or innovative, or successful. He was famous for being a fool. His phone rang again. His lawyer this time. Marcus answered. "Marcus, we have a serious problem," the lawyer said. "Another one?" Marcus's voice was hollow. "Davenport Capital is hemorrhaging investors. We're up to $400 million in withdrawal requests now. It's only midnight. By morning, it could be more." Marcus felt numb. "What do I do?" "You need to apologize, publicly, tomorrow. Actually, today. It's already past midnight. You need to do it first thing in the morning." "Apologize?" Marcus's pride screamed against the word. "Yes, a real apology. Not a sorry if you were offended non-apology. A real one. Admit you were wrong. Admit you were jealous. Ask for forgiveness." Marcus was quiet. "Marcus, are you listening?" "I'll think about it," Marcus finally said. "Don't think too long. Every hour you wait, more damage is done. The internet never forgets, but it might forgive if you're genuinely sorry." The lawyer hung up. Marcus walked back to the window. The city lights blurred together. He realized he was crying. When was the last time he cried? He couldn't remember. He thought about his grandfather, Richard Davenport Sr., the man who built everything from nothing. His grandfather started with a dream and $10,000 saved from years of hard work. What did Marcus have? $8 billion and zero accomplishments. His grandfather worked on ships as a young man. He got his hands dirty. He learned every part of the business. Marcus had never worked a hard day in his life. He just signed checks. His grandfather treated his employees with respect. He knew their names. He cared about them. Marcus barely knew the names of his own assistants. The truth hit Marcus like a wave. He wasn't anything like his grandfather. He was exactly what everyone said he was. A spoiled rich kid who inherited money and did nothing meaningful with it. And tonight, in front of 500 people and millions more online, Elon Musk had shown everyone that truth. Not with cruelty, not with insults, just with 5 simple words. "Show me your rocket." Marcus looked at his reflection in the window. Behind him, he could see his expensive penthouse, his expensive furniture, his expensive art on the walls. None of it mattered. None of it was real accomplishment. It was just stuff, expensive stuff, but still just stuff. For the first time in his life, Marcus Davenport III understood what his grandfather tried to teach him all those years ago. Money is just a tool. What matters is what you build with it. And Marcus had built nothing. Marcus didn't sleep. He sat in his dark penthouse watching the sunrise over Manhattan. The sky changed from black to purple, to pink to orange. It was beautiful. But Marcus couldn't enjoy it. His phone sat on the coffee table, silent now. Nobody was calling anymore, and they'd all said what they needed to say. At 6 a.m., Marcus turned on the TV. Every morning, news show was covering the story. Good Morning America showed the video. The hosts talked about it. "You have to see this viral moment from last night," the female host said. "A billionaire named Marcus Davenport tried to publicly attack Elon Musk at a fancy gala. They played the clip. Watch what happens," the male host said. The video showed Marcus saying his mean words. Then Elon's response, "Show me your rocket." The studio audience laughed and clapped. "That is the perfect comeback," the female host said, "because it's true. Elon Musk built his companies. This Marcus guy just inherited money. Exactly, the male host agreed. You can't buy respect. You have to earn it. Marcus changed the channel. The Today Show was covering it too. This video has over 25 million views now, Hodakot said. And it's teaching us an important lesson about the difference between inherited wealth and earned success. CBS this morning. Same story. Fox and Friends. Same story. MSNBC. Same story. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone had an opinion. Marcus turned off the TV. He walked to his bathroom. The mirror showed a man who looked 10 years older than yesterday. His eyes were red. His hair was messy. His expensive tuxedo was wrinkled. He looked like what he was, a broken man. Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from his assistant, Jennifer. Mr. Davenport, I've been getting calls all morning. Do you want me to prepare a statement? What should I tell people? Marcus stared at the message for a long time. What should he tell people? The truth. That's what his lawyer said. Apologize. Be honest. But his pride fought against it. His ego screamed no. For 40 minutes, Marcus stood there, not moving, just thinking. He thought about his grandfather again. What would Richard Davenport Sr. do? His grandfather was tough, but he was also honest. When he made a mistake, he admitted it. He fixed it. He moved forward. Marcus picked up his phone. He typed a response to Jennifer. I'm going to make a video. Don't prepare a statement. I'll handle this myself. He walked to his office, set up his phone on a stand, sat down at his desk. No fancy background, no expensive decorations. Just him in a simple blue shirt. He pressed record. Hello, Marcus began. His voice shook slightly. My name is Marcus Davenport. Last night at the Tech Leaders Gala, I did something terrible. He paused, took a breath. I tried to publicly humiliate Elon Musk in front of hundreds of people. I planned it for 3 months. I hired a speechwriter. I practiced in my mirror every morning. Marcus looked directly at the camera. I was jealous. I was bitter. I've spent my entire life with money but without real accomplishment. And I resented people like Elon who actually built something meaningful. His voice got stronger, more honest. Elon responded to my attack with 5 words. Show me your rocket. And he was absolutely right to say that. Because I don't have a rocket, I don't have any real accomplishments. Marcus leaned forward. I inherited $8 billion from my grandfather. I didn't earn it. I didn't build it. I just spent it. I started one company and it failed. Not because of bad luck. Not because of bad employees. Because I didn't do the hard work. He continued. I've been thinking all night about what my grandfather would say if he saw what I did. He built Davenport Shipping from nothing. He worked 18-hour days. He saved every penny. He treated his workers with respect. Marcus's eyes got wet. And what did I do with his legacy? I wasted it on jealousy and pride. I attacked someone who's actually making the world better because I was insecure about my own failures. He wiped his eyes. So I want to apologize. First, to Elon Musk. You didn't deserve my attack. You've built incredible companies through hard work, risk-taking, and innovation. You've created jobs. You've pushed humanity forward. I'm deeply sorry for trying to diminish that. Marcus took another breath. Second, to everyone who trusted me with their business. I let you down, and I showed you the worst version of myself. I understand if you want to end our partnerships. I would too. His voice got quieter. And third, to my grandfather. Grandpa, I'm sorry I wasted the gift you gave me. You built something real. You created value. You helped people. I just spent money and felt entitled. I promised to do better. I promise to honor your memory properly." Marcus sat up straighter. "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm stepping down from all my board positions. I'm closing Davenport Capital and returning all remaining funds to investors. I'm taking a year off from business." He looked determined now. "Instead of investing, instead of networking, instead of trying to be important, I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure out how to actually contribute something to the world." Marcus's voice was steady now. "Maybe in a year, or 5 years, or 10 years, I'll try to build something. Something real. Something that helps people. And if I fail, which I probably will, at least I'll have tried. At least I'll have earned my failures honestly." He looked at the camera one last time. "To anyone watching this, don't be like I was. Don't waste your time tearing others down. Build something up. Create something. Help someone. That's what actually matters. Not money, not status, not pride, just honest work towards something meaningful." Marcus reached for the camera. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll do better." He stopped recording. Marcus watched the video once. It was honest, raw, real. For the first time in his life, he wasn't trying to impress anyone, and he was just telling the truth. He posted it to Twitter with a simple caption: "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll do better." Then he turned off his phone. Marcus didn't want to see the responses, didn't want to know if people accepted his apology or not. He just wanted to start changing. He walked to his closet, looked at his 50 expensive suits, his 100 expensive shirts, his 30 pairs of expensive shoes. None of it mattered. Marcus changed into jeans and a t-shirt, regular clothes, the kind of clothes normal people wear. He walked out of his penthouse, took the elevator down 60 floors. Outside, the morning air was cold and fresh. People rushed past him on their way to work. Nobody recognized him. Nobody cared who he was. It felt good. Marcus walked to a nearby coffee shop, a small place. Nothing fancy. "Gee, can I help you?" the barista asked. She was young, maybe 25. She had a name tag that said Emma. "Just a regular coffee, please," Marcus said. "What size?" "Medium is fine." "That'll be $3.50. Marcus paid with cash. He left a $20 tip. Emma's eyes went wide. "Sir, are you sure?" "I'm sure," Marcus said. "Thank you, Emma." He sat at a small table by the window, sipped his $3.50 coffee. 6 months ago, he would have paid $15 for fancy coffee and not even tasted it. This coffee tasted better than any coffee he'd ever had. Marcus pulled out a small notebook he'd bought at a drugstore on the walk over. He opened it to the first blank page. At the top, he wrote, "Things I need to learn." Under that, he started a list. How to actually build something. How to work with my hands. How to lead people, not buy them. How to create value, not just spend money. How to be like Grandpa Marcus stared at the list. It was a long road ahead. But for the first time in his life, Marcus Davenport III felt like he was going in the right direction. Not because someone told him to, not because it would make him look good, but because it was the right thing to do. September 2023. Marcus Davenport III walked into the Brooklyn Community Center at 8 a.m. He carried a box of donuts he'd bought at the corner bakery. They cost $12 for a dozen. 6 months ago, he wouldn't have known how much donuts cost. "Good morning, Mr. Marcus," a voice called out. It was Deshaun, a 12-year-old boy with a big smile and even bigger dreams. "Morning, Deshaun," Marcus said. "Ready for today's lesson?" "Always ready," Deshaun said. Marcus taught financial literacy classes every Tuesday and Thursday, and he taught kids from the neighborhood about money, not how to spend it, how to save it, how to invest it wisely, how to build something with it. The kids called him Mr. Marcus. They didn't know he was a billionaire. To them, he was just the nice man who explained compound interest using candy as examples. "Okay, everyone, find your seats," Marcus said. 15 kids sat down at the folding tables, ages 10 to 15, some from poor families, some from middle-class families, all eager to learn. Marcus pulled out a jar of jelly beans. "Today we're talking about something called compound interest," he said. "Let's say you save one jelly bean today. Tomorrow, that jelly bean makes a baby jelly bean. Now you have two. The next day, both jelly beans make babies. Now you have 4. A girl named Maria raised her hand. "So the jelly beans keep making more jelly beans?" "Exactly," Marcus said. "That's how money grows when you save it. The longer you wait, the more it grows." The kids leaned forward, fascinated. 6 months ago, Marcus gave speeches to rich people about investments. Nobody really listened. They were just being polite. Now he taught kids about money. They hung on every word, because they actually needed to know this stuff. After class, Marcus walked to the subway. Yes, the subway. He hadn't been in a car in 6 months. He took the train to Queens College. He had 3 classes today: mechanical engineering, business ethics, and introduction to welding. The welding class was his favorite. Professor Rodriguez was a tough woman in her 50s. She'd worked in construction for 30 years before teaching. "Davenport!" she called out when Marcus walked in. "You're late. Mask up and get to your station." "Yes, ma'am," Marcus said. He put on his welding mask and gloves. He picked up the torch. For the next 2 hours, Marcus welded metal together. His hands got tired. His back hurt. Sweat dripped down his face. It was hard work. It was honest work. It felt good. "Not bad, Davenport," Professor Rodriguez said, examining his work. "You're getting better. Still sloppy here and here, but better." "Thank you, Professor," Marcus said. She looked at him closely. "You know, when you first showed up to this class, I thought you were slumming it. Rich kid playing at being working class." Marcus felt embarrassed. "I'm sorry I gave that impression." "But you proved me wrong," she continued. "You show up on time. You do the work. You don't complain. You actually want to learn." She patted his shoulder. "That's respect, Davenport. Keep it up." Marcus felt proud, real pride. Not the fake pride of buying expensive things, the pride of earning someone's respect through hard work. After classes, Marcus took the subway back to his apartment in Queens. Not his penthouse in Manhattan. He'd sold that. Now he lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. Rent was $2,500 a month instead of $50,000. It had 1 bathroom, a small kitchen, and a living room that doubled as his study space. No doorman, no view, no marble floors, but it felt more like home than the penthouse ever did. Marcus made himself dinner, spaghetti with tomato sauce. Nothing fancy. He'd learned to cook from YouTube videos. 6 months ago, he had a private chef. The chef made elaborate meals that Marcus barely tasted. And now Marcus made simple food, and he enjoyed every bite. After dinner, Marcus did his homework: engineering problems, ethics case studies, welding techniques to practice. At 9 p.m., his phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "Marcus, your father and I are hosting a gala next month. Will you attend? People have been asking about you." Marcus thought for a moment, then typed, "No, thank you, Mom. I'm not ready for galas yet. Maybe someday." His mother replied, "I understand. We're proud of you, sweetheart. Your grandfather would be too." Marcus smiled. That meant more than any business deal ever had. He was about to put his phone away when he saw a notification, an email from someone named James Chen. The subject line read, "Thank you for your apology video." Marcus opened it. "Dear Mr. Davenport, you don't know me. My name is James Chen. See, I'm a 24-year-old who recently graduated from college. I inherited $2 million from my grandmother last year. Not billions like you, but enough that I didn't have to work. I was becoming like you were. Lazy, entitled, jealous of people who actually accomplished things. Then I saw your apology video. I watched you admit your mistakes. I saw you commit to changing. That inspired me. If a billionaire can admit he was wrong and start over, then I can too. I enrolled in nursing school last month. I want to help people. I want to build something real with my life, not just coast on inherited money. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for showing me it's never too late to change. Respectfully, James Chen." Marcus read the email 3 times. His eyes got wet. He'd spent his whole life trying to be important, trying to be admired, trying to be respected. And he'd never felt as meaningful as he did reading this email. One person, just one, changed his life because Marcus had the courage to admit he was wrong. Marcus typed a response. "Dear James, thank you for your email. It means more to me than you know. You're going to be a great nurse. The world needs people who want to help, not just people who want to be rich. Good luck with nursing school. Stay humble. Work hard. And remember, you're not defined by what you inherit. You're defined by what you build. Best regards, Marcus." He sent the email and closed his laptop. Marcus walked to his window. His apartment overlooked a busy street in Queens. Cars honked. People walked by. A couple laughed together outside a restaurant. Normal life. Real life. 6 months ago, Marcus looked down on all of this from his penthouse, and he thought he was above it. Now he was part of it, and it felt right. Marcus thought about that night at the Gala, the worst night of his life, the night he humiliated himself in front of millions. It was the best thing that ever happened to him, because it forced him to change, to become better, to actually try to be someone worth respecting. "Show me your rocket," Elon had said. Marcus didn't have a rocket yet, but he was working on it. Not a literal rocket, but something meaningful, something that would make his grandfather proud. Marcus was about to go to bed when his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. "Hello? Marcus Davenport?" a voice asked. "Yes, this is Marcus. This is Elon Musk." Marcus's heart stopped. "Elon? How did you get my number?" "I have my ways," Elon said, and there was a smile in his voice. "I've been following your progress, the volunteer work, the classes, the apology video." Marcus didn't know what to say. Thank you. I'm trying." "I know," Elon said. "That's why I'm calling. I'm going to be in New York next Saturday. There's a coffee shop in Brooklyn, corner of 5th and Union. Would you meet me there? Say, 2 p.m.? "Of course," Marcus said. "Absolutely. Thank you." "See you then," Elon said, and hung up. Marcus stared at his phone. Elon Musk wanted to meet him, after everything that happened. He didn't know what Elon wanted to talk about, but it didn't matter. 6 months ago, Marcus wanted Elon's attention because he was jealous. Now he had Elon's attention because he'd changed. Marcus went to bed that night feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real hope. Not hope that he could buy something or impress someone. Hope that he could actually become someone worth being. Saturday afternoon, September the 16th, 2023. Marcus walked into the small coffee shop on the corner of 5th and Union in Brooklyn. It was called Bean There. A simple place with worn wooden tables and mismatched chairs. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air. A barista made drinks behind the counter. Folk music played quietly from a speaker. Marcus arrived 15 minutes early. He ordered a medium coffee, $3.50. He sat at a table by the window. His hands shook slightly. He was nervous. Why did Elon want to meet him? Was he angry? Did he want to yell at Marcus for what happened 6 months ago? No. That didn't make sense. Elon could have done that already. He wouldn't wait 6 months. At exactly 2 p.m., the door opened. Elon Musk walked in. He was wearing jeans and a black t-shirt. Nothing fancy. He looked tired but alert. Some people in the coffee shop recognized him. A few pointed. One person took out their phone to take a picture. Elon saw Marcus and walked over. Marcus stood up quickly. Elon, thank you for meeting me. Sit, Elon said with a small smile. Let me grab a coffee first. Elon ordered at the counter. He came back with a large black coffee. He sat down across from Marcus. For a moment, they just sat there. Two men, two very different stories, but somehow here together. So, Elon said, how are you? Marcus let out a breath. I'm different. Better, I think. I hope. I saw your apology video, Elon said. That took courage. It took humiliation first, Marcus said honestly. But thank you. Elon took a sip of his coffee. What are you studying? Mechanical engineering at Queen's College. Also taking business ethics and welding classes. Elon's eyebrows raised. Welding? Really? Marcus nodded. I figured if I want to build something someday, I should understand how things actually work, not just how to write checks for other people to build them. That's smart, Elon said. He looked impressed. I did the same thing when I started SpaceX. I read every textbook I could find about rockets. I asked engineers thousands of questions. You can't lead people if you don't understand what they're doing. Marcus pulled out his notebook, the one he'd been carrying everywhere. Do you mind if I write some of this down? I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Elon smiled. Sure. They talked for 20 minutes. Elon explained how he learned about engineering, and he recommended books. Structures, or Why Things Don't Fall Down, by J.E. Gordon. Ignition, by John D. Clark. Marcus wrote down every title. What do you want to build? Elon asked. Eventually, I mean. Marcus thought carefully. I don't know yet, but I want it to be something useful, something that helps people, not just something to make me feel important. That's the right goal, Elon said. He leaned back in his chair. You know, Marcus, that night at the Gala wasn't about destroying you. Marcus looked up from his notebook. It was about showing you the truth, Elon continued. You can't buy accomplishment. You have to earn it. And from what I can see, you're finally trying to earn it. Marcus felt tears forming in his eyes. He blinked them away. I really am trying. I know, Elon said. That's admirable. Marcus took a breath. Elon, I need to say this properly, face to face. I'm sorry. I'm truly, deeply sorry for what I did. You didn't deserve it. You've built incredible things. You've changed the world. And I tried to tear you down because I was jealous. Elon was quiet for a moment. I accept your apology, he finally said. But Marcus, the person you really needed to apologize to was yourself. You were living a lie. You were pretending inherited money made you special. That must have been exhausting. Marcus nodded. It was. Every day I felt like a fraud. And now? Elon asked. Now I feel like like I'm on the right path. For the first time in my life, I'm actually working towards something real." Elon smiled. "That's good." They sat in comfortable silence for a minute, drinking their coffee and watching people walk by outside. "Can I tell you something?" Marcus said. "Of course." "When you said, 'Show me your rocket,' it broke me, but it also saved me." Marcus's voice was thick with emotion, "because it forced me to see the truth. I had nothing. I was nothing. Just a rich kid with a credit card." Marcus looked directly at Elon. "You could have insulted me. You could have made fun of me, but you didn't. You just asked a simple question, and that question changed my life." Elon nodded slowly. "Good questions are powerful. They make people think. They reveal truth." "It revealed my truth," Marcus said, "and I didn't like what I saw. So I'm changing it." Elon looked at his watch. "I need to go soon. I have a meeting with the Tesla engineering team at 4 o'clock. "Of course," Marcus said. "Thank you so much for meeting me. And this means more than you know." Elon stood up. Then he paused. "Marcus, let me give you some advice. Not as someone famous, just as someone who's failed a lot and learned from it." "Please," Marcus said, pulling out his notebook again. "First," Elon said, "embrace failure. You're going to fail many times. That's good. Failure teaches you things success can't. Don't be afraid of it." Marcus wrote that down. "Second, work matters more than words. Don't talk about what you're going to build, just build it. Let your work speak for you." Marcus wrote faster. "Third, surround yourself with people smarter than you. Hire the best. Listen to them. Learn from them. Great leaders aren't the smartest person in the room. They're the person who brings smart people together." Marcus nodded, still writing. "Fourth, stay humble. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop learning. And if you stop learning, you stop growing." Elon put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. "And fifth, remember why you're doing this. Not for fame, not for respect, not to prove something to others, but because you want to make the world a little bit better. That's the only motivation that lasts." Marcus looked up from his notebook. His eyes were wet again. "Thank you, Elon. Really, thank you." Elon squeezed his shoulder once. "You're welcome. Good luck, Marcus. I mean that." "Can I ask you one more thing?" Marcus said. "Sure. Do you think someday I could actually build something meaningful? Or did I waste too much time?" Elon smiled. "Marcus, I didn't launch my first successful rocket until I was 36 years old, and I didn't make Tesla profitable until I was in my 40s. It's never too late." He headed toward the door, then turned back. "Oh, and Marcus, when you do build your rocket, whatever that rocket ends up being, send me a message. I'd like to see it." Elon walked out of the coffee shop. Marcus sat there for a long time, just sitting, just thinking, just feeling. A few people in the coffee shop whispered, "Was that Elon Musk? Who was he talking to?" "I don't know. Just some regular guy." Just some regular guy. 6 months ago, that would have hurt Marcus's feelings. He wanted to be special, important, recognized. Now it felt perfect. He was just a regular guy trying to learn, trying to grow, trying to build something. Marcus opened his notebook to a fresh page. At the top, he wrote, "Advice from Elon Musk, September 16th, 2023. Below that, and he wrote all 5 pieces of advice. Then, at the bottom of the page, he wrote one more thing. "Today, I met the man I tried to destroy 6 months ago. He gave me kindness when I deserved nothing. He gave me wisdom when I needed everything. This is what real leadership looks like. This is what I want to become." Marcus closed his notebook. He finished his coffee. He left a $20 tip for the barista. Outside, the September sun was warm. The streets of Brooklyn were busy with life. Marcus walked to the subway. He had homework to finish. He had welding techniques to practice. He had a life to build. For the first time in 35 years, Marcus Davenport III knew exactly who he wanted to be. Not a copy of Elon Musk. Not a copy of his grandfather. Not a copy of anyone. Just himself. But the best version of himself. Not the version that earned respect through work, not inheritance. The version that built things, not just bought things. The version his grandfather would be proud of. Marcus smiled as he walked down the subway stairs. He still didn't have his rocket, but he was building it. One day at a time. One weld at a time. One lesson at a time. And someday, maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10, he would have something real to show. Something he built with his own hands, his own mind, his own determination. And when that day came, Marcus would send Elon a message, not to brag, not to compete, just to say thank you. Thank you for the 5 words that destroyed his old life. Thank you for the 5 words that saved his new one. Show me your rocket. Marcus would, eventually, and it would be worth the wait. October 2026. Marcus Davenport III stood in a warehouse in Newark, New Jersey. The space was 15,000 square feet. Concrete floors, high ceilings, exposed pipes. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. Around him, 23 people worked: engineers, welders, designers, electricians. They were building something, not a rocket, not a car, something different, something Marcus had thought of 2 years ago. Portable water filtration systems, small units that could turn dirty water into clean drinking water. Each unit was the size of a suitcase. Each unit could provide clean water for 50 people per day. The idea came to Marcus during his volunteer work. He'd met a woman from Kenya. She told him about villages where people walked 5 miles every day just to get water. And sometimes that water made them sick. Marcus couldn't stop thinking about it, and he spent 6 months researching. He talked to engineers. He studied existing water filtration technology. He learned about the problems, the costs, the distribution challenges. Then he started building. His company was called Clearstream. He'd invested $50 million of his own money. Not all of it, just some. He still had billions, but he was careful now. "Marcus," a voice called. It was Chen Wei, his lead engineer, a brilliant woman from MIT who could have worked anywhere but chose to work here. "What's up, Chen?" Marcus walked over. "We solved the pump problem," Chen said, smiling. "Look at this." She showed him a redesigned component, smaller, more efficient, cheaper to produce. Marcus studied it carefully. Over 3 years, he'd learned enough to actually understand the engineering. Not perfectly, but enough. "This is brilliant," Marcus said. "How much does this reduce the cost per unit?" "About 18%, Chen replied. "That's huge." Marcus looked at the rest of the team. "Everyone, can you gather around for a minute?" The 23 employees stopped working. They came together. Marcus looked at each face. Some were young, some were older, some had fancy degrees, some didn't. But all of them believed in the work. "Chen just solved our pump problem," Marcus said. "This reduces our cost per unit by 18%. That means we can provide clean water to 18% more people with the same budget." The team clapped. A few people cheered. "But this only works because you all showed up every day," Marcus continued. "You believed in this project when it was just a crazy idea. You took a chance on a guy who had 0 experience building anything." Marcus felt emotion rising in his throat. I want you to know something. 3.5 years ago, I was a different person. I was arrogant. I was lazy. I thought money was the same as accomplishment. The team was quiet now. Some of them knew this story. Some didn't. I got humiliated. Publicly. Millions of people saw me be a fool. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because it forced me to change. Marcus looked around the warehouse. This? This is my rocket. Not a literal rocket. But this is what I'm building. This is how I'm contributing. And I couldn't do it without each of you. A woman named Sarah wiped her eyes. She was the operations manager, former Navy, tough as nails. But even she was moved. Okay, back to work, Marcus said with a smile. We've got 500 units to finish before the end of the month. Kenya is waiting. The team dispersed, back to their stations, back to building. Marcus walked to his small office in the corner. It had a desk, a computer, a window that looked out at the warehouse floor. No fancy furniture, no expensive art, just work. He checked his email. One message caught his attention. From Elon Musk. Subject: I heard something interesting. Marcus's heart jumped. He opened the email. Marcus, a friend told me about Clearstream. Portable water filtration for developing countries. Smart idea. Important work. Sounds like you found your rocket. Proud of you. Elon. Marcus read it 3 times. His eyes got wet. Proud of you. Those 3 words meant more than any business award ever could. Marcus typed a response. Elon, thank you. That means everything. And we're shipping our first 500 units to Kenya next month. We've got orders for 2,000 more from Tanzania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. It's not Tesla. It's not SpaceX. But it's real. It helps people. And I built it with my own hands and my team's brilliant minds. You were right that day in the coffee shop. Failure teaches you things success can't. I failed many times getting here, but I learned from each one. Thank you for not giving up on me when I gave you every reason to. Marcus P.S. You said to let you know when I built my rocket. Consider this my message. Would love to show you the facility sometime if you're ever in Newark. Marcus sent the email. Then he went back to work. That evening, Marcus drove home. Not to a penthouse, not to a mansion, to a small house in Montclair, New Jersey. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a mortgage. He'd bought it 2 years ago. It felt like home. His girlfriend, Rachel, was in the kitchen making dinner. She was a teacher, 5th grade. She met Marcus at a community center where they both volunteered. She didn't care that he was a billionaire. She cared that he was kind, that he worked hard, that he wanted to make a difference. How was work? Rachel asked. Good, Marcus said, kissing her cheek. Chen solved the pump problem. We're going to be able to help more people. That's wonderful, Rachel said. I'm proud of you. Thanks. Marcus smiled. Oh, and Elon Musk emailed me. Rachel turned around. Really? What did he say? He said he heard about Clearstream. Said it sounds like I found my rocket. Said he's proud of me. Rachel hugged him. You should be proud of yourself too. I am, Marcus said. And he meant it. After dinner, Marcus sat on his back porch. The October air was cool. Leaves were turning orange and red. He thought about that night at the Gala. March 2023, 3.5 years ago. The worst night of his life had become the catalyst for his best years. If Elon hadn't said those 5 words, Marcus might still be bitter, jealous, empty. Instead, he was building something real, helping people, making a difference. His phone buzzed, a text from his mother. Marcus, your father and I want to take you and Rachel to dinner next week. We want to hear about Clearstream. Your grandfather would be so proud of you." Marcus smiled. His grandfather. Richard Davenport Sr. built a shipping empire from nothing. He worked 18-hour days. He treated people with respect. He created value. Marcus was finally living up to that legacy. Not by spending the money his grandfather left him, but by building something new, something meaningful. Another text came in, this one from Deshaun, the kid from the Brooklyn Community Center. "Mr. Marcus, I got accepted to college, full scholarship, business major. Thank you for teaching me about money." Marcus felt his eyes get wet for the third time that day. This was what mattered. Not headlines, not fancy parties, not impressing people, just making a difference. One person at a time, one water filter at a time, one lesson at a time. Marcus looked up at the stars. They were bright tonight. "Thank you, Grandpa," he whispered. "I finally get it. Money is just a tool. What matters is what you build with it." The next morning, Marcus woke up early. He went to the warehouse by 6 a.m. The first shipment to Kenya was leaving in 3 weeks. 500 units, each one tested, each one working perfectly. Marcus walked through the warehouse, checking each unit personally. He'd learned enough over 3 years to know what to look for. Chen arrived at 7 a.m., then Sarah, then the rest of the team. By 8 a.m., everyone was working, welding, testing, packing, building. Marcus worked alongside them. His hands got dirty, his back got tired, sweat dripped down his face. It was hard work. It was honest work. It felt right. At lunch, Marcus sat with his team. They ate sandwiches from a local deli. They talked about the Kenya shipment. They talked about future improvements. They talked about expansion plans. This was Marcus's life now. Not galas and champagne, but warehouses and sandwiches. Not impressing rich people, but helping poor people. Not buying respect, but earning it. Marcus thought about that question again. The question that changed everything. "Show me your rocket." He could answer it now. Finally, honestly. This warehouse, these water filters, this team, these lives changed. This was his rocket. Not as flashy as a spacecraft, not as famous as an electric car, but real, meaningful, important. Marcus Davenport III had finally built something worth showing. And the best part? He was just getting started. That was the end of Marcus's story. From arrogant billionaire to humbled builder. From trying to destroy someone to learning how to create something. All because of 5 simple words. Show me your rocket. We'd love to know. Where are you listening from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story and found it inspiring, please hit that like button. It really helps us reach more people who need to hear these messages. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more emotionally powerful stories like this one. Stories about redemption, growth, and the human spirit. Finally, share this video with your friends and family. Someone you know might need to hear this message today. Someone might be struggling with pride, jealousy, or feeling like they're not good enough. This story could be the spark that changes their life. Let's spread kindness and awareness together. One story at a time. One person at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.